This is Pastor Steve with an encouraging word. One of my favorite Bible verses is found in Mark's Gospel, the 9th chapter, verse 24. Let me read it for you. Immediately the boy's father said, "I do believe. Help my unbelief." Now the context for the verse is a man had brought his son to the disciples to get healed, to be delivered of the demons that were oppressing him, causing him to thrash about, even throwing himself in the fire, seeking to do harm to that boy. The disciples weren't able to do anything, and Jesus came along, and so the man asked him, "If you can do anything, please help us." To this Jesus replied, "If I can, all things are possible to those who believe." As in response to Jesus' statement, the boy's father exclaimed, "Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief." I think that's a prayer that many of us find very authentic, very personable. One we may have expressed ourselves or in our present situation or in times past. Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. To believe God, to trust God is an act of faith, for we don't always see the evidence in our circumstances. Our situation seems difficult. We wonder where God is or if He cares. And so we want to trust God, we want to believe, but we have doubts, we have fears. Especially during these days of a pandemic, we get anxious or afraid. We're scared to do things. Maybe a situation's our own personal health, or the need of a child of ours or a grandchild. Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. I find that true sometimes in my own prayers. I try to give it to God, and yet I walk away with it still stuck right in my own hands. I want to let go of it and trust God, but I take it back up and carry it with me, as if my prayers had flypaper, sticking right to me as much as I try to give them to God. Is it because I don't trust God? Is it because I don't believe in God? No, it's just because there are times my faith seems strong and sometimes it seems weak. Sometimes we make belief too much about an emotion. As if I have strong faith, I believe God very strongly because I feel something inside. Now, feelings are part of our life. We were made that way. And emotions are something God uses and blesses and works through. But they're not always the best indicator of belief. To believe God is simply to trust God, to rely upon God. And sometimes our trusting is hard to do. I think of a friend of mine whose son Cole is in a very similar situation of this father with his son. He's not really afflicted by demons, but he has cancer. 2 years of age. It's a hard thing for a father and a mother to hear and to go through with their child. He's being treated with chemotherapy and all the things that go with that, but I'm sure they're praying at times, "Lord, I believe you can heal my son. Help my unbelief, because at times I doubt. The report seems so grim. Cancer seems so big. Our son seems so small." And with that, our ability to trust you. That's why I tell them, I'm praying for you. Karen and I both. That's why it's important in our lives to have people praying for us, because sometimes I can't believe, I struggle, I doubt, but others are believing and trusting for me, trusting with me. Like those 4 friends that carried their paralytic friend to Jesus. I don't know what the paralytic's faith was like, but there were 4 people carrying him because they believed. They were trusting God. Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. It's a good prayer to pray at times during a pandemic, when that seems so big. But even when that's over, there's still other things to trust God with. Other reasons or times we may doubt. When the pandemic's over, there'll still be cancer to be concerned about, or high blood pressure, heart disease. There'll still be concerns about the economy, your own personal finances, your own job, or unemployment. There'll still be relationships or persons, accidents that may happen or not happen, all the things of life we faced before without the pandemic still gives us reason to pause, to have our doubts, to pray, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. The only barrier our doubts cause is when we quit talking to God about it. There was a rich young ruler who walked away that cut off God's ability to work in his life. Lord, I believe, help my unbelief says, I'm still looking to you, God. I'm still aimed your direction. I'm still coming to you. It's like the Psalms where they get angry with God. They lament and wonder where God is. But always there's the conversation, there's the hope, there's the leaning into God, even in the face of what we don't see or what we doubt. Always remember your doubts are not a problem to God. They're just part of being human. And a good prayer to pray in times of doubting is, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. I'm going to trust you even though I'm not sure I'm trusting you. I'm going to lean on you even when I'm not sure if I'm going to fall. I'm looking to you even if I'm not sure I'll find you. God is the God who promises to be with us no matter what we're going through, in our highs and our lows, in our believing and our doubting. And because God is with us, and because God loves us, our doubts are never a barrier to him in our relationship with him. God still moves, even when we don't believe. God still cares, even when we doubt. God still loves us. When we pray a prayer like, Lord, I believe, and follow with help my unbelief. That's an encouraging word from Pastor Steve.